Hey guys, welcome back. This is Clayton53 Dan back here again with another What If. This is what if Deku was the only male in My Hero Academia redo. So, after checking the post and, whoa, did I really try? Yeah, I did. Let's say I really tried. So, the harem thing did not work. And I posted another post saying, well, the Pussycats, Mirko, and Ryuku. And the World of Pussycats won. But I was thinking, how can I make two people happy, but the people that picked Ryuku... For the people that picked Ryuku, I'm sorry, I couldn't think of a way to add her in. But what I'm doing with Mirko in the Wild Wild Pussycats, because Tiger would not be a part of the Wild Wild Pussycats, and plus I could not find a female tiger. I thought and improvised, so Mirko is going to be part of the Wild Wild Pussycats, because she'll be the only one with a technical animal quirk, but have some elements of the Pussycats. So she'll be basically a rabbit and a pussycat at the exact same time. Not literally, but yeah, the equipment she has basically headphones that are communicators to the rest of the team. The paws, of course, hold that she has are basically made to hit and stuff like that. And she also has a tail. Now, it's connected to her rabbit tail. So, she's both a normal hero and part of the Pussycats. So she's still really good. She's basically 2-in-1. Just to make everyone happy. So yeah, the 10 months of training now starts. Mirko goes ahead and takes Deku to, of course, the forest, being where the Pussycats have their, like, training days for, like, the kids and stuff, but they're all there. It's technically their base, so yeah, and house. So when Mandalay, if I remember her correctly, Ragdoll and Pixie Bob see Mirko drive up, they all ask, what assignment did you get? Because they all heard that she got an assignment and she could tell the other three, but she can't tell anyone else. So, yeah. She gets out and opens the door, and they see a pair she's got, like, oh, it's like a little girl or something like that. As they see not a girl, but a boy. As their just mouths drop, because, number one, they've never seen a boy. And number two, he's technically their age. Because they're 18, and he's literally 18. But the 10 months of training doesn't start. They got their hero licenses early, so they're going to be bonding. Forsyth. Yes, he is a college, because I love doing that. So, Deku, Mirko, and the Wild Pussycats are technically one group. And Mirko goes by an off-hero name. She's technically a part of it, but she has her own thing as well. So yeah, she's basically 2-in-1. So I'm trying to really think of this. So yeah, the 10 minutes of training starts, and they all try to figure out, like, what's his strength at first. So they ask to see his quirk, and which he says sure, in like a stuttery voice, because he doesn't remember that much Japanese, or in this case, what I'm saying, English. So they have to teach him some stuff. So he gives it I am stuttering up and messing up. So Mirko is the one that fights him first. So she wants to measure how good his combat skills and his attack skills are. So Mirko says, we're gonna have a fight, just you against me. Just don't kill. As he says, sure. As Mirko gets into a fighting stance, as Deku does the same. As they both look at each other, as Ragdoll says go, and Mirko rushes first. And whenever she gets up close, Deku basically uses, in just his normal form, he uses his wolf form to more intimidate her because of the bloodlust and the power to, well, to make her feel like she's prey and she's being hunted, to make her basically be afraid of him. Which, because she's basically, her quirk as a rabbit, of course she feels that. So she tries to go in for a single attack as his claws come right at her, as she gets hit to the side and she gets scratched a bit. And Deku basically starts walking over, just letting out hunger, prey, knowing that she is food now, and she might be at the end, as she's trying to get away now, because basically it's putting her in intimidation. Do the others feel this? A bit, yes, because he hunts a lot, so of course they would. As he would jump at her, she would try to kick him, but in a veil it would not work. It misses, and Izuku jumps on her. She opens her eyes to see Deku laying right on her, basically meaning he dominated her. As she looks at him and he looks at her, as she says, fine, you win. Because when it comes to, like, it was basically who fought better, and when it came down to it, Izuku had basically the predator skills to hunt down rabbits. And because he also hunt down humans and kill them, he had that bloodlust as well. So killing, or basically putting down Mirko, was easy, even though she's a high-level hero. As Ragdoll would ask what happened, and Mirko would come over saying, you know that position he was in, like where he was just on me, and I was scared on the ground and couldn't do anything? And she said, yeah, what was that? As she says, well, whenever, well, it could either be a wolf or rabbit that goes ahead and is scared, and basically the alpha lays on top of them, they basically has been dominated, or basically being owned. As Ragdoll, Mandalay, and Pixie Bob look at her saying, so you basically became his, technical girlfriend in this case. So they look at her saying, like, wow, you fell hard then. As she says, yeah, don't look into it. As they're kind of thinking now, like, okay, so if we get, so don't let him dominate us, or we will become his, you know what. As, of course, he thinks of owning her as just using her as a how can I say this? Companion, or technical girlfriend in this case. So each one had their own fight, and of course Izuku dominated everyone because he has strengths of bears, sharks, and crap like that. So after a little while, Mendeley decides to take Deku and basically teach him. And no, not in that teach. Actually teach him more Japanese, math, reading, history, and stuff like that. Which in the 10 months was really hard and struggling, but because he adapted so easily to like other languages, he easily got through with it in like, I want to say 8 months. And he had 2 months left. They have been training. He has gotten really strong, and a couple times they won in rematches, and the exact same thing almost happened every time. They've been dominated, and Izuku laid on top of them, either on their backs, on their stomachs, or on their legs. Because the reason I'm saying legs and not like where was because when it comes to me, the legs are a nice, comfortable place. You can say they're eye on the rock, but they're still soft. They're still nice. They're still smooth. Have I ever felt those types of things? No, I've never. So yeah. I'm gonna say, 2 months, yeah, 8 months passed, so yeah, domination thing again. But he has 2 months left, and in the 2 months, they want to try out more abilities of him, because they've only seen, like, a wolf and a bear, and that's it. Nothing else. So, they want to train Izuku, well, because they think, because he has all these, like, land abilities, why don't we put him in the water and watch it, and see what happens as Mirko looks at him and says, "Don't do that," as they, like, brush off, thinking, like, oh, they think, oh, he must be, like, either, like, a good swimmer or, like, not really a good swimmer. As they put him in the water, as he goes down, and they're all like, what is he doing? As they look at Mirko saying, like, what is he doing? As says, well, you see how he turns his, he basically had bigger claws whenever he turned to a bear and had bear-like features. As they said, yeah. Well, he got that from actually being with a bear, as they're surprised, as Mirko says, well, one of the times we caught him, well, the time I caught him was because he came to me to pet my ears, as they're like, aw. But the way he did it was more like a predator coming up to kill me. As that's what happened, as Mirko walks over to the edge of the river, as Izuku, of course, having his tail change into a shark's tail, being a great white shark's tail, and losing his ears and getting like rows of sharp teeth and some fins on him a bit. As he dives down, as they are asking, like, what are you doing? As she says, wait and watch. My bad. As Zuku swims up, and Mirko's feeling this, and they can somewhat feel it as well. The Wild Pussycats can as well, the other ones. As they see Zuku jump out of the water with a great white shark tail, fins, and a smile of a shark. As he comes down on her, as she hits the ground, and he's on her back now. Basically, and just go ahead and petting her ears. As he starts changing back, and he goes, instead of his wolf, he goes into his Black Panther. Basically, he grows, the ears, the tail, and gets now, I want to kind of say, like, the paws, but a bit, but where it's, like, a lot softer and you can't hear it that good. So if you have, like, really good hearing, like, I'm talking, like, you can hear some dudes say, like, what can I say that don't get me demonetized? I'm gonna say strawberry in, like, a whisper from, like, 500 miles away. If you don't have that type of hearing, then, well, no, I'm gonna say, like, I guess 10 yards away instead of 500 miles away. So yeah, he's still like really silent. So yeah, just 10 yards and whispering strawberries. So yeah, if you can't hear that from 10 yards, then you're pretty much doomed. As I see him turn to a Black Panther and look at him saying, "Oh," as they're like thinking like, "What did he turn into, America?" As he says, "Well, this is one of his other forms, being, well, actually says a Black Panther, being basically part cat." They all hug him, saying, "You'll become one of our part of the wild pussycats," because he's technically, well, multiple animals and a cat as well. So yeah. As of course, a couple times they have met like wolves, and Azuka has talked to them. They have met wolves, bears. They've met a wandering bull shark. They got lost, of course. And Azuka guided it back to where it came from, so it was fine. As I want to say, yeah, there was a snake in the bathroom. And it wasn't like a venomous one, it was just a milk snake, but they were still like scared, like, "Oh, it's a snake, kill it, or something like that crap." As Suzuku looked at it and started like going, and the snake would talk back saying like, "Oh, sorry, like I thought I smelled something good." As Azuku would go over to the fridge, like get some like fajita meat that they had from like a couple nights ago and give it to him, uh, saying, "Here you go, here's some food." As he said thank you and basically went on his way. He basically ate it up and went on his way. As they asked like, "How did you know that talk to snakes?" As, well, I have technically 4 different forms for snakes. As his legs turn into a snake's tail and it turns all black. As his hair goes black, he loses the claws and the ears, and his canine teeth turn into 2 large fangs, and he animates the most deadliest poison. As they ask, "Well, what's this transformation?" As he looks at him, opens his mouth, and says, "Black Mamba." As the 2 fangs like come down, as they see like, "Oh, he's a poisonous snake." As they kind of get away because they don't want to die, because they know how like poisonous the Black Mamba is. As says, "Don't worry, here's another one." As he turns, well, he turns into a copperhead, of course, with a really good pattern, and he could easily camouflage. As they ask like, "What are you now?" As he says, "A copperhead." As of course they're still afraid. As that he says next one, as he turns into a rattlesnake, and then the last one is the king cobra. As they look at the king cobra with like just wow and like fear, like, so the only reason you're able to talk to snakes is because you have their transformations. As he says, "Of course." As he says, "I do have one more if you guys would like to see it." As they ask, "Sure." As his legs come back, and they're like, "Oh, thank God." As his basically his instead of the claw, him growing like claws like the scorpion, his grip and his strength in his hands like grow to like they're very strong, where they will not let go. The only people I want to say that can break out of his strength, his like grip, is All Might and All For One. Now, the reason I'm going to say this, like, All For One cannot take his quirk, because, number one, he cannot take the quirk and then feel his blood just fill up with poison, because his blood is poisonous, Izuku's blood, because he creates it for his, transformations, so yeah. as well as a scorpion, as they see Izuku, of course, have still black hair, and instead of his skin gets harder whenever he's in scorpion. So as they're like waiting for the tail, like, oh, like what is it? Like what is it? They see a scorpion's tail come out, and it's huge. As Izuku basically moves the tail towards Mandala, or Mandala. I don't know what her. I know it's Mandaline. I don't know. As they ask, like, is it as they already know, like, it's poisonous because all scorpions are poisonous. So of course, as it looks like it's just aiming at him, as he goes back into his wolf, saying, "Well, those are technically all my transformations that you've seen." As they're like both wow and not really wow, but yeah, about the poison thing where it's like in his blood. The poison's like in a different type of blood, but it's in like a different type of system. But he can still survive, so yeah. Now, I'm probably only gonna get up to either, the heroes versus villains. So, Izuku would go to UA, and he would go to my brother. Izuku would go to UA, and he would go between the wall of pussycats and UA, not being that long, but still being a pretty good drive. So, the first day of UA, all the girls are like looking at him, like asking, like, oh, they're all like trying to flirt with him, like trying to get them with him, with her, like with them. So yeah, him with them. My bad, my brother was in here. So, yeah, Zuku would go ahead and go to UA. Yeah, well, that okay. I'm just repeating myself. So, he would get in on recommendation. As the first day of UA, flirting and crap like that. The quirk assessment. So Izuku, because they never had a boy before, or ever really, he has to change with the females. So the females are all like crushed and like, oh, they all want to see his. Oh, well, this is a video that's you saw. Like, I'm gonna be doing next, so. Izuku would be changing in there, as the girls would try to like pull moves or something like fly, but it never worked. And of course, not Mineta, but Minita, for female Mineta, would pick on him a lot, and he wouldn't mind because he also like changed, and because of his animal instincts, he literally either slept or changed with the pussycats and Mirko. So they didn't mind, and he did not mind them coming into his room as well. So will he get like a normal cat transformation? Will he get a normal rabbit transformation? I want to say no. So I'm going to say no, because I want him to be more of the dominant instead of turning into them. So the course assessment comes in. I'm going to say he comes first, because the only time he would actually never beat them is because beat someone is probably going to be the ball test because of Uraka. And Zuko would go hang it first. He would train more, and the next day would come around where it's the heroes versus villains. I'm gonna say, instead of Miss Might, like, oh, it's All Might or something like that. All Might does not exist, and it's replaced by Nana being the 8th user. In this case, Miss Might took Nana's place, so yeah. Nana is the 8th user, and will he get all for one? Well, that's kind of up to you guys if you want him or not. And so, yeah. Izuku would be put with Uraraka and against Ida and Bakuchan or whatever crap. I don't care. They're all female, so I don't care. Well, Izuku isn't, but yeah. Izuku would, well, he would turn into his Copperhead form and like slither around as Bakugo would try to hit well, of course Bakugo would come down first trying to hit Izuku, as she would get bit by Izuku, and Izuku would look at the screen and write and basically telling Nezu, or writing down, Bakugo needs serious attention right now. As like the speakers come on and like they can like listen back like what he's saying, as they ask like, why does Bakugo need serious attention right now? As he basically plainly says like, right now I just injected Copperhead venom right into Bakugo's bloodstream, so you might want to get her attention right now. As her and, well, she gets rushed off by All Might, and next is Ida. And they do have a basically a cure for the Copperhead, because that does exist then, like an anti-venom. As they do have one for the Black Mamba poison and like all the other poisons he has. As he gets up there, and of course Uraraka distracts Ida, as Izuku basically sees Uraraka get kicked, as Ida gets grabbed and Izuku comes up right behind her and says, do you know how poison works? As she says, yeah. Says here, as the venom is pumped into her, and of course it's still a Copperhead. It takes a long time for a Copperhead's venom to go through. It takes like an hour, like 3 hours or something. As he touches the bomb, and Ida's rushed off again to the nurse's office. As the venom basically is taken care of, as Nana comes over and says that's very irresponsible, like very not responsible, and that could have killed them. As he looks at her saying, well, I've been in the woods for so long that killing is not a problem to me anymore. It doesn't matter if you're human or an animal, you will die sometime. But because I'm trying to become a hero, I'm trying to lay back on how much deadliness my poison does. As they ask like, well, what's your most deadliest? As he changes, he's basically Copperhead into the Black Mamba, saying this. As they ask like, oh, like the class asked like, what is it? As Nana and like Nezu knows what it is. As he says, well, right now this is my Black Mamba transformation for like, oh, Black Mamba, but you're a guy. Should be like female. Well, that's just the name of it because how deadly it is. As All Might, like, no, not All Might, Nana says like, don't bite them to test, or basically telling like the students, don't let them test you. As they're like, oh, that's probably not the poisonous or like whatever. As he's getting a bit frustrated, says, alright, well, because you guys think you're so hot and crap, how about this? Who wants to go ahead and get bit first? As Nana is like, no, don't. Like, I know they're like trying to frustrate you, but don't bite them in that form. As the class are like wondering like why or some crap. As I'm gonna say Who can I put in there? No, Mineta would be freaking out, so like she would not be like, okay, so I'm gonna say not Momo, Mina, because I know she's like not an idiot per se, but still can be pretty dumb sometimes. But she's like, I'll do it. As Izuku says, okay, you ready? As she says, yeah, hit me. It's probably not that good. As he bites down into her, injecting her with the venom. Her smile changes to like a surprised expression as she gets paralyzed and dropped to the ground. And it takes like 30, like between like 10 to 15 minutes to kill someone with that venom. As Nana rushes, like absolutely like 100% rushes Mina to the nurse's office, and they quickly inject the antidote into her. And it'll take a little while for her to like not be paralyzed anymore, but the venom's kind of like taken care of. As like they ask like what happened, as Nana comes back saying, well, he has the most deadliest poison in that form. It'll paralyze you and kill you in between 10 or 15 minutes if not treated soon. As they get all scared now because number one, his most deadly form could kill us. Number two, don't let him bite you. As he looks at him saying, and sting, bite and sting. As they ask like why sting, as he shows them the scorpion tail. As now they're like, oh, how long does it take to kill us with that? As he says, last time I tested, it took around 25 or 30 minutes to kill someone. As like, you actually killed someone before? Saying, well, yeah, hunters came in to get me. Well, before I became like a hero student or like started becoming a hero at age like 15, I had to kill like 3 hunters that were trying to catch me. So, well, they were trying to catch me, so I killed them. Which, of course, they're all surprised. So they ask like, how did you like survive out there? Like pure like just nature survival skills. As class is over for the day and like everyone's like freaking out. Like number one, don't get on his bad side. Number two, he does not mind killing, but he's trying to hold back on it. So yeah, Izuku is. So I'm not gonna get into the not the UA Sports Festival, the USJ today. But what I will do is tell you like how the Nomu works. So you have to inject both the Black Mamba's venom and the Scorpion's venom into the Nomu just to kill it. Now you're asking me like, why are you saying this? Because like, it's gonna be kind of hard to like kill that Nomu. So yeah. That's it for today. Like, subscribe. People, I'm sorry if you guys don't like that, but Mirko being a wild pussycats because I couldn't find Tiger's profile picture. So I hope you guys like, and bye.